So, yeah, because the question was more because you have the full Jewish background, which I am very clueless on.
Yes, I do.
And I don't really subscribe to any real religion anymore. Growing up, my parents never had us do with anything. I had my first communion. Don't remember anything about it. But for a while in high school as well, my parents got back into the kick of going to church. And so I can kind of speak to the Christian side of this. And there's a few different arguments because in the Christian Bible, because I honestly don't recognize any of the names that you were saying. I don't know how different they are, biblically-wise. But the quotes in the Christian Bible, which I don't know offhand, I'm not at all as Liora is. But there was, I don't even know the show that it was on. It was like a Law and Order show where they addressed this, you know?
I know. It's the West Wing.
West Wing. West Wing. So that's a really good clip. Now,
it is a really good clip.
With that clip, though, is that it doesn't address for somebody who does believe in this, believe that hell exists and stuff. That's what it does. And it kind of negates it, which, I mean, if you're cool with that, then sure, because the Old Testament like gets negated basically because of Jesus dying on the cross. And that's kind of like all the stuff about the sinning with homosexuality is in the Old Testament, which for Christians, that's there's a lot of shit with it. And the arguments was like, planting crops on the same side, or mixing cloth
fabrics,
that'll get you stolen and stuff. And you don't do those things. It's only, again, the picking and choosing what people
we do the thing with the fabrics. I think
if you do subscribe to being that hell exists and that
you're going there,
I think there are a lot of Christian pastors and stuff, priests, who can help you understand why that's not true. Because that's the thing, like you said, with rabbis, they'll pick and choose. And that's the same thing with the Christian side of it. People will pick and choose. In my personal opinion, as someone who has grown up with Christianity, number one, the Bibli, I always call it the Bibli, I'm sorry, was written by men. It was not written by God. It's meant to be interpreted but that's where I'm immediately distrustful because it's written by men. Two, because translation, context, and how we have grown as a modern society. If you lived your entire life completely strict to what the Bible says, you could not function in this modern world. And that's the beauty with humanity, is how we have evolved and changed and grown to understand and love. And that's the thing with Christianity. It is also supposed to be about loving thy neighbor, loving. I don't know too much about the self thing because I never really got that part in Christianity.
It might not be a Christian value.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
About guilt.
A lot of Christian value is repent, or wait, that might just be Catholic, but same kind of thing.
Yeah.
No shade, Catholics, but yeah.
No.
And that's actually a lot of things is most of the hatred towards LGBT is more within the Catholic faith, which, quick side note, hold on, there's a book you can read.
Ooh.
I just finished reading it.
It's called
Heretics Anonymous.
Ooh.
And this deals with a guy who ends up at a very Catholic school, and he joins the secret club of heretics, basically.
Oh my God. I need to.
But it does address a lot of this because one of the main characters is very Catholic, but she's a girl. She wants to be a priest. But there's also a gay Jew in their group of friends.
How can you be gay and Jewish?
Oh, legit. But there's a girl who is kind of Wiccan, but it's just a much longer term for it. And so there's this kind of smorgasbord of characters that do address some of the topics that we're talking about here.
That sounds like an awesome book to read. Jace says, so in serious, I know a good bit about how Christianity got so homophobic. Yes, Judaism also probably got homophobic because of the Greeks.
Greeks!
Yeah. The Greek influence. One thing about the translation, though, which is that I do actually read this book in the original language,
Mhm.
and it still says the same
Okay.